Hey everybody, it's Rob with Cherry City Guns and Ammo, and today we've got a really interesting rifle. This is a Enfield. It was, I believe it's number 4 Mark 1, but this one's been converted to shoot 45 ACP. Oh. Stick around. Okay, so as mentioned before, this is a 45 ACP. This is not what these were originally chambered in. Originally these were chambered in 303 British, but for many years you could go pick up these carbines at gun shows and whatnot for really cheap, for 40, 50 bucks, maybe even cheaper at one point in time. Now you can't really find them much anymore. But when they were really plentiful and really cheap, there were several companies making these little adapter kits for them. It's a new barrel, and then in place of the detachable magazine, you get this adapter, and it's got a button for a mag release right here. And this uses 1911 magazines and converts the rifle into 45 ACP. If you can find these, they're fairly inexpensive because they're an old surplus gun. The bolt's a little hard to work, but it shoots really good and is a whole lot of fun. So let's do some shooting here. I think there's only like a 6-round magazine, so we'll have to reload it here in a second. But let's hit our Scoops TV plate here real quick. You have to really pull on the bolt to strip that round out. Let's see if we can hit our hostage popper. Oh yeah, no problem. Let's hit our spinner. Oh, I think I hit just a little bit high on that. Or to the right. Well, that little magazine's empty. Like I said, I think that's only like a 6-round. But we've got something kind of fun here. We've got a big magazine for it. Now, because it's a single stack 45, it doesn't actually hold that many rounds. I think it holds like 12 rounds, something like that. A little hard to fit that in there. That magazine is not wanting to fit in very well. Well, we might just have to go reload the 6-rounder. We'll be right back. So I guess you see what we get for not testing out mags before we go to make a video. We've got a 7-round mag and we got that other 6-round mag, so we can do some more shooting here. But I tell you what, other than the bolt being a little sticky, a little hard to operate, there's like no recoil on this thing, because it's actually a fair amount of heft on these old battle rifles, and it just takes any and all kick out of it. Let's go down our plate rack here. You could have a kid or any small person shoot this without a problem. It really is like no recoil. Don't know how to miss that. Let's see. It still hits with a pretty decent amount of authority. Hold on out of there. Alright, let's bear down and see if we can hit our little guy out there. And I missed it. So those were all 200 grain semi-wad cutters. I think the other mag is too, but then we'll try some 230 rounders. Back to the 6-round mag. Let's go out to 60 yards and see if we can hit anything at the 60 yard there. So there is our 60-yard silhouette. Let's see if we can't pop it. Oh yeah. That's not too hard. Let's really test my metal and go all the way out right there to our 100-yard silhouette. It's kind of tough because the target is smaller than my front sight post. I have no idea where I'm hitting. Oh, I think I saw that one just to the right. Man. So apparently I can't hit it 100 yards. I did hit the 100-yard one before I started the video, but that doesn't really count, does it? Well, let me go load up some 230 rounders and see how they do. And then we're also going to shoot this across the chronograph and versus a pistol and see what kind of differences there are. We'll be right back. Alright, before I do any more shooting, I'm going to show you a couple of things about it, and these are kind of specific to Enfield rifles. It's how all of them were made back in the day. So most bolt action rifles, there's a ramp on the bolt body, and when you lift the bolt handle, it runs that ramp, and that's what pushes the firing pin back and cocks the firing pin. And it makes it so it can be kind of tough to lift the bolt handle at first, and then it works real smooth. Enfields, however, cock on close. So to lift the bolt handle takes no pressure. And then you pull it back, and as you go forward, you kind of feel it stop. Well, that's because it's now caught the firing pin. If you watch this little piece right here, as you go forward, maybe you can't see that, as you go forward, that piece stays back. So you feel all the spring pressure on the back of the bolt. And their idea was, if you're doing high volley fire, you're going to be slowed down more by having a heavy bolt lift than if you're racking the bolt back and then with momentum cocking it forward. And so that was their idea. It was easier to get high rounds, high volley of fire with the cock on close. And pretty much every Enfield that I'm aware of was built that way. It's a very common thing. But we're now loaded up with some 230 grain cast round nose. We kind of figured out that this seems to be hitting to the right. The only way to adjust the sight is it has to be drifted. We're not set up to do that. We're going to do some more shooting, and I'm going to try holding on the left edge of the plates and see if that makes a difference. So let's go back to our 60-yarder. Hit that with no problem. Now back out to the 100-yard, and I'm going to hold right on the left edge of that silhouette. There we go. So that was the problem. It hits a little bit right. Could use a sight adjustment. Oh, didn't hit that time. I'm not sure where I hit. Oh, looks like that one actually went left. I may have been holding too far. That looked like left and low. There we go. So now I'm aiming. So these 230 grainers, you know, they're moving pretty slow. So I'm kind of aiming at the upper left shoulder of that silhouette, the times that I'm actually hitting it. Let's see. All right, let's see. We aim for that upper left shoulder again. No idea where that one went. There we go. So it seems like that is the place to shoot. That upper left shoulder. You know what, just for funsies, I've got my 100-yard head out there, and I'm going to have to hold all the way off of it, but we should be able, if I hit it, you'll notice a distinct sound difference from when I'm hitting the silhouette. There we go, first try on the 100-yard head. That one looked a little bit high. That one went left. Let's see here. There we go. Yeah, that head really dings with a lot higher pitched noise. Nice. I think I figured out where to hold this thing. Alright, so we're going to have a special shooter come in and do some shooting for us. And I'm also going to set up the chronograph so we can see the difference with 45 ACP between a 16-inch rifle barrel and a 5-inch pistol barrel. We'll be right back. Alright, so we talked earlier before that, you know, this kind of gun should be shot by anybody. This is our good friend Jaden making his video debut. He's going to show us how easy this can be handled by a small person and how light the recoil is. So whenever you're ready, Jaden, go ahead and put the mag in there and start shooting. Is it well seated? Did you hear it click? Kind of have to really push on it there. There you go. You gotta really pull on it. There we go. That's the hardest thing right there. Nope, don't pull it back, just go forward. There you go. Push, push. So it's a little hard to close. Here, let me help you out. There you go. Where are you gonna shoot at?
Hostage popper.
You're gonna shoot the hostage popper. Go for it. Nice. That cock on close is kind of tough, isn't it? Let me help you. There you go. Nice. Push, push. I know it's hard. So before you take that third shot, how's the recoil so far?
It's not too bad. It doesn't have any kick in the shoulder. It's just mainly up.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt at all, does it?
No.
Nice. You shoot that spinner? The green and red?
That's right.
Oh, just to the right. So this seems to be shooting a little bit to the right, so you got to kind of hold towards the left edge. You think you've got 2 rounds left. So kind of aim at the left edge of it. Nice, good job. It's tough to cock, I know. What are you gonna finish up on? I think you gotta try to get that hostage popper. I think you can do it. Just hold that left edge and I think you're gonna nail it. Nice, good job. Are you empty?
Empty.
We are empty. So it's a little hard to cock for a little guy, but recoil is really not bad, is it?
Not really.
Great job. You did a great job. All right, up next we're going to do the chronograph and just see how it compares to a pistol. So just out of curiosity's sake, I wanted to see what difference a little bit of barrel length would have on a 45 ACP. Now my gut instinct is to say there's going to be very little difference. 45 ACP, it's not a very long casing, and the bullet takes up a lot of space in that casing, and it typically uses a very fast burning, very small charge of pistol powder. So it probably won't take much advantage of that longer barrel. We'll probably see a slight difference, but like I said, I highly doubt it's going to be much. So we've got a Remington R1 here, 1911 5-inch barrel, and we've got the chronograph out there at 10 feet. So let's see how it does. Error. Okay. Well, that's not very helpful. I'm going to turn it off and turn it back on. All right, it went through and cycled. Supposedly it's ready to go. 1,345 feet per second. So that's actually moving pretty darn fast for a 45 ACP, but these are 200 grain semi-wad cutters that we're shooting here. That one's 1,348, so pretty darn close to the same velocity. Let's do a third one. Error. Okay, well, that gave us 2, at least gives us an idea. I'm going to load up the rifle and we'll see how that compares. Alright, so we're back with the old Enfield. So we got a 1345 and a 1348. So that's pretty darn close to the same. Let's see how this does. 1163. Interesting. And 1157. Let's do a third one here. 1150. So it was actually going almost 200 feet per second slower. And I have a feeling what that is telling us is the charge of powder in the 45 ACP is such a small charge of very fast burning powder that the entire powder is burned and it's no longer expanding gas, and the length of the barrel is actually slowing the bullet down. So I think in this case it's showing us you're actually going to get lower velocities in this. But let's face it, this is really like a range toy. This isn't really, you don't really care what the velocity is. It's not a hunting rifle. I mean, you could take a deer down at close range with it, but this is just a fun range toy, so who cares? I just wanted to see for curiosity. Okay, so that was 200 grain semi-wad cutters. We got some 230 grain big cast guys, and I'm really curious what kind of difference it'll be with a 230 grain round versus those 200. I'm gonna wait for this thing to finish its turn on cycle. Alright, we're ready to go. 1009. Error. Damn it. Well, I'm not going to turn it off and turn it back on and let it cycle, because that's what you have to do anytime it gives an error. That's just, there we go. Alright, we're empty. Yeah, you know, this seems to be a lot of fun. It'd be a fun little range toy. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to a friend of mine who's loaned it to me to use for the video. But it's a lot of fun, and it's weird, and weird guns are cool. So if you ever had an opportunity, I would not pass it up. I may try to talk this guy out of it, but I don't think it's going to happen. Thanks for watching the video. This is a modified firearm according to YouTube's terms, so this is not monetized. So if you're interested in trying to help support the channel, there's a link to my Patreon down below. Or just like and share, and that helps me out tremendously. I really appreciate it, guys, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.